Hey guys, I just came back from my Amazon locker where I picked up a couple of items that are going to prove to be really useful now that the weather's starting to get a little bit colder and it's going to be winter soon. So I picked up two items today from my Amazon locker, and they're both from GooLoo. Now the second item I'm going to do a separate video on, and that is something really special and unique. It seems like it's common, but it's definitely not. But for this video, we're going to talk about this jump starter that I picked up. This is the GP4000, and I got it from GooLoo because I got a car with a dead battery. And I previously jump started that car with another unit that I have, but it got me thinking I really should have one of these units and an inflator for every single car that I own, especially now that the winter is coming, because I don't want to be stuck like I currently am with a dead battery. So let's unpack this. I'm going to show you the features, and we're going to actually jump start my car. And then at the end of this video, I'm going to put a link to the other item that I picked up, because it is, like I said, something very unique, and I think it complements the GooLoo jump starter very well. So let's go ahead and open this up. Okay guys, I brought this out here into the sun a little bit so you can get a better look. But this is a pretty cool unit made by GooLoo, and it's the GP4000 Jump Starter. Let's just go over a couple of the specs, and then we're going to unbox it and tell you more about how it works. So if we're looking at the back of it here, and hopefully you can see that, it has an 88.8 watt-hour capacity. It has a starting current of 800 amps and a peak current of 4,000 amps. It's got an input USB Type-C, and then it's got an output USB Type-C as well, and then you obviously can charge it via the USB. So let's just go ahead and cut this box open and take a look at kind of what we're working with. And then I'm not even going to charge this up. We're just going to use the residual power that's in it, you know, from when it was made. See if it'll jump start my car. And I've got a dead Jeep Grand Cherokee, Jeep Compass. So I can tell you right off the bat, I like that it comes with a carrying case, because I have other units that I've bought in the past from other manufacturers that did not have a carrying case, and in fact the carrying case itself was almost half the cost of the unit. So the fact that GooLoo includes this makes me very pleased, and I did know that ahead of time, which is one of the reasons why I picked this unit up, because I don't like having to buy other accessories. Alright, so as soon as we open it, it's laid out very nicely. I see we've got some USB Type-C and USB A to C cables. We've got the cigarette lighter adapter, and this basically would plug into the jump starter unit and allow you to have a cigarette lighter if you need to power some device. We obviously have the jump starter cables themselves. Let me just go ahead and pull these out here. Then we have looks like a quick start guide with some warning labels, instruction manual, and then obviously the main item, which is what we're here to see, is the jump starter itself. And I don't know if the camera does it justice, but this is a super compact unit, and I'm just going to put my hand kind of next to it to show you size-wise, and it's extremely light. And guys, before I bought this on Amazon, I watched a whole bunch of reviews from Project Farm, and if you're familiar with him, you know he does some great, you know, reviews on stuff. And this was actually the one that he recommended, which is why I purchased this, the GP4000. It's an excellent unit. He was able to start a diesel truck with it multiple times, cars, and he compared this against the Noco and some much more expensive brands, like 3 or 4 times the cost, and this still came out ahead. This was his #1 recommendation, and if he likes it, you know I'm definitely going to use it. So it says fully charged before use. I'm going to try it without fully charging it. Let's see where we're at. It shows that we're fully charged, so I think we're going to be good to go here. Let me just give you a quick overview of the unit and kind of some of its features. So as we saw when I just pressed the button, and hopefully you can see this on the camera, it does have 4 lights here to show its state of charge, and it is showing fully charged. If we're looking at the top of it, we've got 2 USB A's, and then we've got a USB C, which is in and out, which is perfect because if you need to use this as a phone charger, this can double as that. We've got a flashlight, which I think it's always helpful to have. We have an output right here on the side, and that's what you would use to plug in this adapter. So if you need to plug in something with the car cigarette lighter, you can use that right there. The rest of it is pretty uneventful. And then right here, this is where you're going to plug in the set of jumper cables. And the jumper cables have basically the same adapter that would plug in there. And then it's going to show you right on the front if it's correct or if you have reversed it, so it won't allow you to damage your battery or the car itself. And then there's a boost button. I think I'm going to read the manual, but I'm pretty sure that the boost button is if your battery is totally dead, like there's no power at all, and you need to kind of override this and just start it. So let me go ahead and look at the manual real quick, and then we're gonna go over to my dead Jeep and see if it'll start it. Okay guys, so this car has been sitting here for quite some time, about a month, with an incredibly weak battery to the point where I can't start it, and I do need to replace it. But I wanted to point out one other thing on the unit. In case you're wondering how to turn the flashlight on, when the unit's powered on, you just press and hold the power button, and the flashlight's gonna come on. Press it again, it's gonna be kind of like a strobe mode, and you press it again, it's gonna be SOS, and then you press it again and it turns off. Just in case that's helpful for anybody that really wants to use the flashlight feature. And you may wonder, well, why is there a flashlight built in? I really don't need one. You know what, if this is the only item you have in your car during an emergency, at least you can charge a phone, you can use the light to open the hood, see the battery, see what you're doing while you're hooking up the jumper cables. So while I personally don't always use these, I do think it serves a purpose, and I am glad that it has it, because I'm sure at some point the time may come where I go to use the jump starter and I don't have a flashlight and this is all I've got. So, all right, without further ado, let's hook this up to the battery, see if we can start my car. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug this into the terminals first, and it's kind of keyed a certain way so you can't plug this in the wrong way. One has kind of a square plug and one is a little rounded to prevent it from going in the wrong way. So now let's get the positive to positive. That's on there nice and tight, and then let's get negative to negative. And as soon as I did that, let me just pull the camera in here. The light came on showing that it is correct, and the light came on here showing that we are at full power. So let's go into the car and hopefully this starts. I'm pretty confident it will, but here goes nothing. Beautiful. I truly did not expect anything less from this, because like I said, I watched the review on Project Farm before I bought it, and he spoke incredibly highly of the unit. So I've just pulled that away from the car, and I'm going to let the car continue to run for a little bit to kind of get enough of a charge so I can hopefully drive it to the shop and get a new battery put in. Okay guys, hopefully you've seen that this works incredibly well. My car was able to get started with it. I'm letting the car run so it can charge up the battery so I can get it to the shop to replace it. And this went down one level after I jump started the car. But again, I didn't fully charge this out of the box, and you're supposed to, but I really want to get that car to get that battery replaced. I'm going to go ahead and put a link to this on Amazon because there are routinely sales, and it's actually on sale at the time that this video is being posted, and you can pick this up for significantly sub $100. And having this in your car really could be a lifesaver, especially now that the winter's coming and it's going to be getting colder, and inevitably in the cold weather you're going to have dead batteries. Guys, leave some comments. I will answer everything. If you've got questions about this, I'm happy to look something up in the manual or do whatever I can to help you. And watch the next video because we're going to look at some really special item, also by GooLoo, which I picked up for this car with the dead battery. And I think it's going to blow you away, literally, and be very helpful for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.